Welcome to the Resilient Retail Game Plan, a podcast for anyone wanting to start, grow or scale a profitable creative product business with me, Catherine Erdley. The Resilient Retail Game Plan is a podcast dedicated to one thing, breaking down the concepts and tools that I've gathered from 20 years in the retail industry and showing you how you can use them in your business. This is the real nuts and bolts of running a successful product business, broken down in an easy, accessible way. This is not a podcast about learning how to make your business look good. It's the tools and techniques that will make you and your business feel good. Confidently plan, launch and manage your products, and feel in control of your sales numbers and cash flow to help you build a resilient retail business. Welcome to episode 63 of the Resilient Retail Game Plan. My name's Catherine Erdley and I'm your host as well as the founder of the Resilient Retail Club, which is my membership group for product businesses. You can find out more at resilientretailclub.com. I'm so excited to share this episode with you. I absolutely loved recording it. It's such a wonderful story that you're about to hear that touches on so many important themes and really is a beautiful version of how small businesses can make a difference in the world. I am joined today by Mark and John Cronin, who are a father and son duo who founded the business johnscrazysocks.com. Have a listen. I think you're going to love it.
Thank you so much for being on the podcast. I'm really excited to talk to you guys today. Do you want to kick us off by introducing yourselves?
You want to introduce us, pal?
Sure. I'm John. Then my partner, my dad, Mark. We are John's Crazy Socks.
John's Crazy
John's
Socks.
Crazy Socks.
And what's our mission?
Spreading happiness.
Spreading happiness.
Spreading happiness.
Catherine, we hope to bring a little happiness today.
That is so wonderful. And so, John, your name's on the business. This was your idea, right? Your love of Crazy Socks.
That's just my idea, and I want to start Crazy Socks.
Yes.
Right?
Love it.
The origin story, I think everybody's origin story is important, right? Because it imprints the DNA into you. But the origin story is relevant and important, right?
Yeah.
You talk about resilience, and that's what getting started required. We got started back in the autumn of 2016. And where were you, buddy?
I'm in school, Dad, and I went to Hudson High School. I'm going to be my last year.
So here in the States, if you're diagnosed with a disability, you can stay in the public school system until you turn 21.
Oh, okay.
So that was going to be John's last year. And the thing is, when you're in school, everything is right there in front of you. All your services, once you're done, you're on your own. And different than England, we have great variation from state to state.
Sure.
But it's sometimes known as the 21-year-old cliff because you go,
wow.
What are you going to do? Right? So John's in his last year of school, trying to figure out what's he going to do. And what were you looking at?
I look at shop, workroom, and school. I never something I don't like.
Didn't like what he saw.
Didn't like what he saw, right.
And that's not unusual for somebody with a differing ability, right? Because John, you should let people know. You have Down syndrome?
Yes, I am.
And what do you say about that?
I have Down syndrome. Down syndrome never hold me back.
No, it does not.
Love it. Never hold you back.
So there's John. At the same time, I was in a situation that, you could make it up in a novel to make it bad, right?
Okay.
I had been working with my wife in what had become the family business. From the outside, if you look at our family, you would say the presenting condition is Down syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, it's depression, and my wife suffers from it, my middle son.
Mm-hmm.
Down syndrome is easy. Depression is hard, right? So we're working together, but depression can lead you to do some irrational and destructive things. Well, it turned out several years earlier, unbeknownst to us, my wife had done something you can't do, had dipped into some client funds.
Mm-hmm.
So we've learned this when two detectives show up at our office door to arrest her.
Wow.
So there we were. And overnight, what had become the family business closed down. Got no income. We now have a debt to face. My wife is in jail. John is trying to figure out what he's going to do. So I'm trying to hold it together. I'm an entrepreneur, which also means I'm unemployable, right?
Right.
So I'm starting some online businesses. And what did you tell me?
I said, I want to go to bed with my dad.
He comes, his dad, let's go into business together.
Love that. So new family business.
Yes. I thought I was helping him. You know what? He was saving me. I go to confidence and optimism. But like many entrepreneurs, we had a lot of ideas. Some of them were good ideas, right? It's like, what was one of your ideas for a business?
Idea of fun store.
Well, a fun store, and what was
fun store?
Food truck.
A food truck.
Oh yeah, I read about your food trucks, and that turned out to be harder than you thought, huh?
Well, we really liked the idea. It could be fun, but we ran into that problem, right?
Right. We can't cook.
Yeah.
A food truck where you can't cook, right? Got it.
But then John said,
I said, I want to start creating socks. Why socks? It's fun, it's colorful and creative. Oh, always let me be me.
It was his idea.
I did.
And he wore these crazy socks his whole life. We used to drive around looking for them.
Right.
But we figured if John loved them that much, surely others would too. And we could find our tribe. Right. So went the lean startup route. Let's go test this.
Yeah.
We built a website on the Shopify platform. We got a little bit of inventory, which some of your listeners will know. When you're starting off, that's a challenge because a lot of suppliers say, we're not going to sell to you until you have sales.
Right.
If I don't have any inventory, and you got to pay for everything up front.
Yeah.
We're bootstrapping, so you got to make do with what you have. The only marketing we did was to set up a Facebook page, and I would take out my cell phone and would make videos. And who do you think was in those videos?
I am. Sock.
What day did we open?
We opened on Friday, December 9th, 2016.
We didn't know what to expect, but we were very fortunate. We got a flood of orders. It certainly felt then like a flood of orders. Most of them were local. We live in a town called Huntington on Long Island outside New York City. So what did we do with those first orders?
Our first order is a home delivery.
So you delivered them, you hand delivered them. Wow. Yeah.
We got red boxes. We put the socks in the box. And then we said it needs something else. So what else did you put in?
Socks, candy, and thank you note for me.
He wrote a handwritten thank you note. We loaded it up with candy and we'd drive around knocking on, not me, you.
Right.
Everyone loves candy. I mean, candy and crazy socks. Like that's just like who would love that?
Socks and then post on social media like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Where I get spread.
We had customers ordering again just to have John come back to their door. So we learned by doing.
Yeah.
By the end of the month, we had shipped 452 orders. We had
in your first month, 452.
It was Christmas, but like really in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Wow.
We had about 13,000 in revenue. We had, crazy things that you go through as a tiny startup. We were selling so much, we were running out of socks. So I was going, there used to be a store here, a big box store called Kmart.
Yeah.
I went to every Kmart I could find to buy up all the socks they had.
Oh, so you were buying them at retail. Yeah. So if anyone's
that wasn't the plan. We were buying wholesale.
Okay.
It was better to buy retail and make no money, but at least have something.
Yeah.
That had nothing. So, but you figure stuff out. But by the end of that month, we'd learned people want to buy socks. They want to buy socks from John.
Right.
Right.
They related to you.
Yep, related to me.
They liked the personal touch, and every package got a thank you note and candy. They liked the fact we had already pledged 5% of our earnings to the Special Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
And why the Special Olympics?
I am an Olympic athlete.
Right? He is. Right?
That's fantastic.
And then something else that your listeners sure can relate to. You'll learn by doing.
Mm-hmm.
So we learned that this young man
and an old man,
this old man, he could sell socks.
Yeah.
That's how we got it off the ground.
So I got to ask a question about the socks. So you were getting them originally, you found a wholesaler who'd supply you, but then obviously you had so much demand, you couldn't keep up. Did you find that the doors started to open with some of these bigger wholesalers? Did it become easier? Did you start getting a wider range? Did you find that kind of became a bit easier, or was it still a scramble at the beginning when it came to actually getting the socks to send out?
It became much easier because of a couple of things. First, you got to do some cajoling.
Okay.
So they were liking the story and they saw we had sales.
Yeah.
But then what happened is the business took off so fast that we became the best customer or a top customer for many of these places.
Okay.
Kind of the tables turned of us coming to them saying, okay, what type of discount are we talking?
Yep.
We were very fortunate, though, because we developed some good relationships that we still have today. So, jump ahead. We're going to have our 5th anniversary this December.
Oh, wow.
We went from having our entire inventory spread on a couple of tables in an office to today. How many socks do we have?
We have 3,000 different kinds of socks.
Over 3,000.
3,000.
John is the owner of the world's largest sock store. we carry, we now make our own, but we still carry from, I think, 32 different suppliers and design shops because we want to make people happy. We want to have socks that you want.
And they're all crazy, right? All 3,000. So that's not just 3,000 pairs of socks, but 3,000 pairs of crazy socks.
All patterned and colorful.
Yeah.
They've been debating for a while opening a section of boring socks, white, plain white or black socks. So we are developing our own line of athletic socks and of dress socks. But a lot of what drives it, you come back to that DNA of John saying, they always let me be me.
Always let me be me.
Right? Think about it. In much of the world today, you still wear a uniform. It might be a suit. It might be khakis and a polo shirt. But you can wear socks to express who you are and how you're feeling.
It's so true. It's just that little bit of individuality. So I want to talk a little bit about the 4 pillars. So you talk about having these 4 pillars of the business. You've touched on them already, but do you want to run us through your 4 pillars? And also, I'd love to know, was it right from the get-go you knew what these were, or is it something that developed over time?
Yes. So things were present when we started. We better articulated them. So here are the 4 pillars. It's 1, go ahead.
Inspiration and hope.
Inspiration and hope.
Give it back.
Giving back.
Socks you can love.
Socks you can love.
Make it personal.
Making it personal. So what we have created is a social enterprise.
Yeah.
Right? We have both a social mission and a business mission. They're indivisible. They feed off of each other. Right? So, you start with the socks you can love, and it's really fun products you can love. Right? You got to have that core e-commerce business. You got to be good at that.
Yeah.
So here's an interesting thing, I think.
Okay.
We're not really a sock store. The socks are the physical manifestation for our mission and our story. And thank God, because we've gone out and counted. there are exactly 1 gazillion sock companies.
Yep.
All we were doing was saying, oh, ours are stronger or look better or feel better or smell better, or it's a horrible place to have to compete.
Yeah.
Now, understand, we have great socks.
Yeah.
But they're more than that. And that differentiates us in the marketplace.
I couldn't agree more. And this is something that I talk about a lot, but it's that sharing the story, isn't it? It's your story. It's John's story. It's John's love of socks. That's what the business is built on. And I think I think it's great the way you've articulated it. And also you're just such great living proof of how this works.
Yeah, it's, so you start there with the socks. We got to be a great e-commerce business.
Yeah.
Right? We do better shipping than Amazon. We do same-day shipping. When
Wow.
the order comes in today, it's going out today.
Yeah.
Right? And then making it personal, it goes back to the beginning. It was hand delivery. It was thank you notes. It was candy. To this day, now we've shipped over 300,000 packages to 85 different countries. And every one of them has a thank you note from John and candy.
Wow.
And we keep getting better at that, right? Finding ways to connect with customers. I'll give you 2 examples. One, we sell socks for diabetics. But one day, one of our happiness packers, right? We run our own pick and pack warehouse. What do we call pickers?
Sock wranglers.
Sock wranglers. We have sock wranglers and happiness packers. One of our happiness packers points out, says, this is a little strange. This person just bought socks because they have diabetes, and we're sending them candy.
Wow. Yeah.
So now what do? We have a supply of sugar-free candy. And if you order diabetic socks, that's what we send you.
I love it. And I'm sure you get great feedback, right? Your customers, I'm sure, love it.
They do, right? Or here's another one. If folks are out in particularly in e-commerce, that you can segment your emails to make them more personal.
Yeah.
Yes, we do that, but we also segment our fulfillment so that we have 5 basic packages that go out. They all have a thank you note, they all have candy, but they differ based on how many orders you place so that you can further personalize things.
That's so smart. So if you've ordered more, does the kind of messaging change or what you get? Yes,
because it says, we know you've come back.
Yeah.
We love you for it, right? So part of it is you got to start with that. We're spreading happiness. You have to believe it. And everything we do has to answer to that, right?
Yeah.
So it's the way we answer the phone. It's the fact, we don't have customer service reps. We have happiness creators, right? We don't time those conversations. They're all personal conversations, right?
Yeah.
They all know they can spend $200 without asking to make a customer happy.
Right.
Like you've heard the old line, the customer is always right.
Yep.
Nonsense. The customer can be dead wrong. But we're not in the business of being right. We're in the business of making them happy.
I love that. That's a great attitude. Yeah.
We refund money all the time. We guarantee, if you're not happy, we'll give you your money back. We'll send you extra stuff. What's the result of that?
Yeah.
Our refund rate is about 0.5 of 1% of our revenue.
Wow.
We have 29,000 online reviews, and 96% of those are 5-star reviews.
Wow.
Right? Customers come back because you treat them well.
You're in the business of making them happy, right? And that's what you're selling. You're a happiness store.
Right. And then the other 2 pillars, one is giving back. Because what do you say are the 2 keys to happiness?
Gratitude and for others.
Gratitude and do for others.
No.
So we're so grateful, and we know you got to do more than just sell stuff. So from day one, we pledge 5% of our earnings to the Special Olympics. But we've gone on to create products that raise awareness and raise money for certain causes. So here's a real life example. It's January of 2017, and we're just getting started. And we learned nobody buys anything in January because they spent all their money at Christmas, right?
Yep.
And we also learned this is a little funny. We also learned that people celebrate World Down Syndrome Day, which is what day?
March 21st.
March 21st. Because where you get Down syndrome, we all have 23 pairs of chromosomes. Down syndrome, people with Down syndrome have an extra 21st chromosome. So therefore, the third month, 21st day is World Down Syndrome Day. Well, it turns out people celebrate that day by wearing crazy socks.
Oh,
But I thought we knew that ahead of time. But we're not smart. So we go to find a Down syndrome sock we could sell. Nobody made one.
Right.
What'd you say?
I want to claim one. I want to make one.
John says, "We'll just make one." So he designed the world's first Down syndrome awareness sock. And we called up the National Down Syndrome Society and said, "We're going to give you money from this." They said, "Who are you?" And now we're good. Now we work all the time with it. But so we've gone on to create products like that. So, I mean, here's a really neat thing. We've now donated over $450 dollars US.
Wow.
And John here, this Special Olympic athlete, has donated over $100,000
Wow.
for Special Olympics.
That's incredible.
But that has to fit into, again, it's got to come back to who you are. So your audience knows, and particularly in the US, Black Friday and Cyber Monday are really big deals.
Yeah.
We don't do Black Friday and Cyber Monday.
Right.
We're true to who we are. We have Gratitude Week. Spend a week of finding ways to give back to our customers, of giving gifts and things. So we're not out saying bye, bye, bye. We're out saying thank you, thank you, thank you. Guess what? People respond, right?
That's amazing. So you have Gratitude Week. That's really lovely, because that's always, I think, a really difficult thing for a lot of businesses, that a lot of small businesses are started by people with a real purpose and a real passion, and the whole messaging around that real commercial holidays is really tough for a lot of them. So that's a really lovely. I've seen people do it where they give charitable donations on Black Friday, but I've never heard of Gratitude Week. So that's amazing.
That's what we do. We don't refer to it as Black Friday or Cyber Monday. We start the week before.
Yep.
And in part, we're still a small business. You have to know who you are. You got to know the mission. You got to know your values. But we can't compete. We can't give a 30% discount.
Yeah.
We can't do that. So, but again, that comes back to we're not really a sock store, right?
Right.
Then it comes back to the fourth pillar, which is the most important. It's showing what people can do when you give them an opportunity.
Yeah.
So more than half of our employees, of our colleagues, have a differing ability. And that's just the start. Then we want to show the world, look what they could do.
Yeah.
So we host school tours, we do speaking engagements, we do advocacy work, we do these podcasts. That people know, look what can work.
That's incredible. And I know that you said you've spoken a whole different, lots of different places about your advocacy work. And so I guess, what have you seen the benefit of having a more diverse workforce? And what do you think holds businesses back from embracing that themselves, do you think?
Well, let me, you're asking what are the benefits and why don't more people do it?
Yeah.
So we'll talk the benefits.
I mean, other than being the right thing to do, right? Do you know what I mean?
But let's put that aside. It's not altruism, it's good business. And I'll describe specific examples. Where we are, there's a growing labor shortage.
Mm.
Employers can't find enough workers,
Mm-hmm.
can't find enough good people. Particularly during the holidays, our workforce doubles.
Mm-hmm.
Yet we've been able to fill every job.
Right.
We generally pull, so we run a pick and pack warehouse. When we're doing that, we pull from 3 labor pools. People with different abilities, moms, because we do 4-hour shifts, so you can put your kid on the bus, work a shift, and then go home. There's some dads in there. And laborers, our starting wage is $15 US an hour. By far, the best labor pool are people with different abilities.
Right.
But I'll give 2 other examples. One, there's a small software company in Redmond, Washington. You've probably heard of them. They're called Microsoft.
Yep.
So they're in fierce competition to hire programmers. Well, Satya Nadella, who is their CEO, who happens to have a son with CP, picks his head up and said, why don't we hire people on the autism spectrum? Many of them have great technical skills.
Yep.
Because they can't look you in the eye in the interview, or maybe they're not shaking your hand. Microsoft do. They realize we're the problem.
Yeah.
And they change their interview process. So now they're able to hire more people. That gives them a competitive advantage. And I'll give a third example closer to your home. So Ernst & Young, which is now called EY, they have, capture this, they have 250,000 employees.
Wow.
They have a 20% annual turnover rate, which means to stay even, they have to hire 50,000 people a year.
Wow.
So I'm talking to the managing partner of the Dublin office. They had set up a program with Trinity College, and we're hiring people on the autism spectrum coming out of Trinity College. Once they did that, they saw their retention rate increase and the turnover rate decrease, right?
Yeah.
That's the impact that has. So those are benefits, right? Why don't people do it? Because they're afraid, because they're worried. We hear all the time, what type of training do we have to do? Oh, what if this, what if that? It's very simple. Focus on what people can do, not what they can't do. Look at people's strengths. And in part, we stand up and tell people, look at us. Just a couple of knuckleheads selling socks. We have no special training. We have no government funding. We don't have any special programs. We just hire people to do good work.
Yeah.
And if we can do it, you can do it. Right? It's
yeah.
Roll all that up. And you have John's crazy socks.
And you're so right. It's so good for people to see this model as something that has, solidly commercial, as well as something that brings so much joy and so much happiness to so many people. So it's fantastic.
Nothing we do that's pie in the sky. We're still a small, relatively small company. I mean, everything is relative, right? We don't have a lot of extra resources. Everything we do is, to me, is easily replicable, but you have to believe. And at the end, everybody benefits, right? So if you're a customer, you buy from us, you are going to get great socks, you're going to get great service.
Yeah.
More than that, you're going to help us hire people with different abilities. You truly help us give back. We publish reports and we let everybody know. And you're helping us spread happiness. So we're not just selling stuff. It's not just a transaction. It's an experience.
Yeah.
Right? And the same works for our employees. I don't know what's going on in England, but in the US, we're in the midst of what some people are calling the big quit. In 1 month alone, 4 million people quit their jobs.
Wow.
I read a survey this morning that said 65% of people are thinking of leaving their jobs.
Yeah.
People through the pandemic are starting to say, what am I doing? What is it worth? And when you have a social enterprise, we can say to our employees, I mean, we kind of have this down to 5 phases, but we can say, we have a mission worthy of your commitment.
Yeah.
It's not just we're going to make money. And understand, we all want to make money, but it's something bigger than that.
Yeah.
And then we make sure everybody knows there's no work job, there's no cognitive machinery. Everybody has a role in making that, in fulfilling that mission.
Yeah.
Right? You put people in a position to succeed. You recognize the work they do and pay. It doesn't have to be the highest pay. And saying thank you.
Yeah.
And then get out of the way. People do their work. Right?
Let them do that thing.
Right? But it starts with you have a mission. You know, we're very fortunate. We get to attract really great people.
Yeah. It's such a beautiful vision of how small businesses can work and benefit everybody, the community, the customers, everything. I think it's a wonderful story, and thank you so much for sharing it with us. And I'd love to just wrap up. So I know you're going into Christmas, which I'm sure gets really crazy for you.
It does. Last year we did 40% of our business in the last 2 months.
Oh my, yeah, that's
a hard way to do things.
I've been pushing that message since about the summer. I keep saying to people, you're going to see so much of your sales in the last part of the year. So I want to finish with a question to John. So John, you've the world's biggest sock store. Do you have a favorite? Like, how do you even pick like your sock of the month? Like, does it just come to you, or are there certain socks you really like?
Do you have a favorite pair of socks?
I do. My favorite sock is a Daniel from superhero sock. That's my favorite sock. And that sock is I am a superhero.
John drew this superhero, and when turned it over to designer to finalize it, the designer put John's face on the sock. So, his favorite, right?
It's just my favorite.
But
that's
you
your favorite.
Socks every day.
Yeah, and as I turn out,
Go ahead.
every Saturday,
Yeah.
Poop emoji socks.
Poop emoji. Because, the boy may turn into a man, but you're not taking the boy out of the man.
Is it the same pair of poop emoji socks, or do you have all kind of different poop emoji socks?
Different kinds.
Different kinds. That's amazing. I love it. Well, thank you so much, both of you. I've really, really enjoyed this recording, and I've really enjoyed getting to meet you both. I think it's an amazing story that you have, and we will put the link below to John's Crazy Socks in the show notes. And you ship internationally, right? I heard you say.
We do, and we ship to the UK. After Brexit, we had to figure all that out, but yes, we do.
You've figured it out.
Yeah, we ship all over, and we're fortunate, right?
Right.
And listen, you mentioned it. Where do people find us?
I'll put it at johnscrazysocks.com.
Right?
johnscrazysocks.com.
Make yourself happy. Do you have any words of advice you offer people?
I do. Follow your heart. Follow your heart. Work hard. Show you can do.
Yes. Show what you can do.
I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you so much to everyone who listened, and thank you again to John and Mark for joining me. I really enjoyed that episode so much. Recording it was such a joy. I feel like I just could have listened to them talk all day about their journey because it's such an incredible story. I hope that you enjoyed it. Do definitely check out johnscrazysocks.com. They do ship internationally. And why not join us next week for a new episode? If you hit the subscribe button, then you will be the first to know about each new episode as they're released. If you have a moment to rate and review the podcast, that's always really appreciated as well. Thank you so much. And why not head over to Instagram at Resilient Retail Club, say hi to me, tell me what you took away from today's episode. And of course, if you're interested in joining the Resilient Retail Club, you can use the code 10podcast. That's 10podcast at resilientretailclub.com to get £10 off your first month. We have so much lined up for the fourth quarter, getting ready to support the members through this busy Christmas time period. So I hope that you will come and join us. Until next week, have a great week. If you've enjoyed this week's episode, then I invite you to check out resilientretailclub.com. The Resilient Retail Club is the membership for anyone wanting to start, grow, or scale a profitable product business. No more trawling Google trying to find the answers to your questions or wading through general business advice that speaks mainly to service-based businesses. Whether you're still at the idea stage or you've been going for a while but want to get more focused and organised when it comes to your business, the Resilient Retail Club is the place for you. With a library of courses tailored to creative product businesses, several live sessions a month, and a supportive and active community, the Resilient Retail Club is the perfect membership to help you hit your goals faster. Check it out at resilientretailclub.com.